Parshas Ekev, Tovshin Pei. Well, first of all, anybody who's been watching our shir over the past 10 years knows that usually these parshios, these weeks, we bring you the shir from Eretz Yisrael. Unfortunately, this year we could not make it there, but the Torah is still the same. One could learn Torah in Chutz La'aretz, and you have to be able to learn wherever you are. So we make the best of the situation, and we continue straight forward. Parshas Ekev. And the Torah tells us at the beginning of the parsha, V'hoyo Ekev tishma'un eis hamishpatim ha'ele u'shmartem v'asisem oisam. And the Torah continues, V'shamar Hashem alikecha lecha. If you're going to keep the mitzvahs, and you're going to watch the mitzvahs and do the mitzvahs, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'shamar Hashem alikecha lecha es habris v'es hachesed asher nishba la'avoisechem. What's Hashem going to give you? The Torah tells you, V'ahevecha, Hashem will love you, Uveirachecha, He will bless you, V'yirbecha, Uveirach privitnecha, Priyad masecha, tremendous, beautiful brachos of health, wealth, brachos, and everything good. And the Nesivos Shalom points out right here at the beginning of the parsha that it would seem that in this pasuk the word ushmartem, and you will watch, it would seem to be superfluous. The pasuk should really just say v'haya ekev tishma'un, and what are you going to do? V'asisem osam, you're going to do the mitzvahs. What does it mean that you're watching the mitzvahs? What exactly are you watching out for over here? And really, this question is a question that can be asked in a number of places in the Torah. You know, beginning of Parshas B'chukoisai, the Torah says, "Im b'chukoisai telechu," if you will go with my chukim, v'yes mitzvoisai, what? V'yes mitzvoisai tishmeru v'asisem oisam. If you're going to do the mitzvahs, but then once again, this lashon of watching, of tishmeru, what does that mean? Once again, the Torah uses the same lashon, which would seem to be extra. It would seem to be superfluous, because you know, with mitzvahs, you know what we do? We do mitzvahs. We don't think about them or watch them or do things around the mitzvahs. The idea is to do the mitzvahs, and it's really this. A number of times in the Torah, we have this lashon of shimur, ushamartem, v'shomar, those kind of things. So what might be the significance of the reason of this? In addition, the Nesivos Shalom also asks another question. Why does the Torah go through here and list the great schar that is in store for one who is a shomer Torah? The Torah says, Ushmartem, you're going to watch out for the mitzvahs, and you know what? You're going to get great schar for what you do, right? We listed all the things of parnasa and health and wealth, everything. The Torah lists that off. Why does the Torah tell you about all these things? Are we not supposed to be mekayim the Torah? As we know, the Mishnah says in Pirkei Avos, Sheloi al menas lekabel pras. The Torah generally should not list off rewards for doing the mitzvahs. You're supposed to do the mitzvahs, Sheloi al menas lekabel pras, not to receive anything in between. And that question too is on multiple places in the Torah. In one of them, at the end of our parsha this week, the Torah tells us, "V'hayoim shamoya tishmu al mitzvosai." We say it every day in Kriya Shema. If you're going to listen to the mitzvahs, and straight away, right after that, the Torah says, "V'nosati mitar artzachem v'itoi." I will make it rain on time. You'll have parnasa. All these wonderful things. Again, the Torah is telling us about the rewards. Also, we know in Parshas B'chukoisai, once again it says, "V'nosati gishmeichem b'itom." I will give you the rain. I will give it to you in the right time. And besides the fact that you're supposed to do things shalei al manas lekabel pras, Nesivos Shalom wants to know, okay, let's say the Torah does want to tell us about the rewards we get for keeping the Torah. But why tell us all the beautiful Gashmias things that we're going to get? The Torah should tell us about the Schar and Olam Haba, the Ruchnias, the things that we're going to get that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to give us spiritually. Should we really be so interested in all the Gashmias and all the physical rewards? Why does the Torah list off all the Gashmias awards that a person will get in this world? So the Nesivos Shalom answers with something written in the Sefer Be'er Mayim Chaim. It's brought down there from Rabbi Bichel Mizlachev's Chusi Yagan Aleinu. It brings down a beautiful point and something that's kedai to always know. And he says that when a Yid is Mekayim mitzvahs, a Jew is supposed to be Mekayim the Torah and the mitzvahs for one reason and one reason only. There's only one reason to have in your mind when you're being Mekayim a mitzvah, and that is La'asois nachas ruach l'Hashem yisborach. In other words, you're not supposed to do mitzvahs, not for your personal reasons, and not even for the schar and olam haba that you're going to get for mitzvahs. The way to be mekayim mitzvahs is for one thing, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu said so, and I am supposed to listen. La'asois nachas ruach l'HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I want Hashem to be happy. You're not supposed to do it even to be nene miziv hashchina, because I want to be close to Shechina. No. We do it for one reason only. Hashem said to do it, and we listen implicitly, and we do it because we want to make Hashem happy. So the pasuk in our parsha tells us, V'hoyo ekev tishma'un. The Torah tells us that if you're going to listen to the mitzvahs, ushmartem v'asisem. Do you know what the word, we have to question. It would seem that the word ushmartem is extra here. Zok and Nesivos Shalom, no, it's not extra. Because just doing a mitzvah is not enough. You need to watch the mitzvah. When you are doing the mitzvah, you need a shemira on every single mitzvah to watch it so you have no outside factors affecting how or why you do the mitzvah. You do a mitzvah, but you need to watch it. Even doing the mitzvah requires you being careful and watching out to see that it is only for Hashem. I am doing it only for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that is why the Torah uses a lashon of shemira when it talks about keeping the mitzvahs. Because mitzvahs are not just about doing them, not just about doing the mitzvah. You need to watch that you do the mitzvah exactly in the right way, and the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to do it, and the way that Hashem wants you to do it is to listen just because HaKadosh Baruch Hu says so. So then the Torah tells us in return that if you do the mitzvahs correctly and you watch over the mitzvah, then the Torah tells us, Mida keneged Mida, V'shamar Hashem Elokecha lecha, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to watch you also and give you the rewards. It's not a promise of schar, because you're right. You're supposed to do the mitzvah, Shelo yamanas lekabel pras. But if you create an atmosphere where you are watching to make sure to do a mitzvah, you do shmira, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to do shmira too. It's a memela thing. You set the precedent. You set the way it's supposed to be done. So ushmartem v'asisem oisam. You watch, then v'shamar Hashem Elokecha lecha, all the promises that Hashem made to the avos, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to watch out for those two and pay you back because you set the tone. And it's just all those rewards are just a siman. If you see if a person is getting rewards from Hashem, it is a siman that you are mekayim the mitzvahs in the tachlis hashlemus. That's the lashon Nesivos Shalom uses, that you did the mitzvah in the most wholesome and complete way. And without any personal gain. You did it because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to do it. And if you do so Hashem says, Va'ahevacha, and I will love you. And if Hashem loves you, you know what that means. Uveirachecha, uveirach, all your things, your children, your possessions, and everything that you have. And now we can understand why the Torah lists all these rewards of great Gashmias. We said, come on, a Yid is not supposed to live for Gashmias. We're supposed to want the rewards of Olam Haba. The Torah should tell us you're going to sit in the front row in Gan Eden. You're going to sit next to Moshe Rabbeinu. You're going to get all these great rewards. But yet the Torah lists us rewards of Gashmias. Why does the Torah do that? So now, Nesivos Shalom tells us that if the mitzvahs are done correctly, it is, as we said, it's an indication, a siman, that you did the mitzvah right. In other words, if you get blessings, if you get brachas, it's an indication that you did it right. And the Nesivos Shalom tells us that a siman, something that you're supposed to see, a siman needs to be obvious. A person, people are human beings. And when Rabbi Shalom says you're going to get a reward if you do a mitzvah because I want you to, it needs to be obvious. It has to be in front of your two eyes. And physical rewards you can see. Schar ruchni, as great as it is, and as wonderful as it will be when a person gets in Gan Eden, schar ruchni of Olam Haba, and being lehenos miziv hashchina, you cannot see with your eyes. And we need this to be a siman. We need this to show you that you did the mitzvah right. Schar ruchni, a person in this world cannot see. And the main point here, the lesson that needs to be learned from this parsha, is that we need to understand what the focus of our being mekayim the mitzvahs really is. The focus is that we are doing the mitzvahs for one reason and one reason only. That's what the Torah in Parshas Ekev is pointing us to. Yes, you're going to get all these rewards, but those rewards come when we understand the reason we do the mitzvahs is lasos nachas ruach laboire. We're doing it all to give a nachas ruach, to make HaKadosh Baruch Hu kaviyachol happy. There are no ulterior or personal motives involved. And even doing it, remember, for schar, olam haba, that is not the ultimate way. A person has to realize that there's no other reason whatsoever. The Kuzari brings down in Maimar Beis that a person should have a joy in the mitzvah. When a person does a mitzvah, you should have a joy of the mitzvah and a love for Hashem who commanded us the mitzvah. That's what a person should have in mind. That I'm enjoying the fact that I can do a mitzvah for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That I can love HaKadosh Baruch Hu by doing the mitzvahs. And because you love Hashem, you're going to want to do more mitzvahs. The focus is not actually on the mitzvah. The focus is how much we love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when there's something that you love, and even in Olam Hazeh, if a person loves somebody else, you want to do everything that they want you to do. You want to do things to make them happy. And that is the shmirah that the Torah tells us so much about. Sai in Parshas Ekev and in the whole Torah. The shmirah is that it's wonderful and it's great and we should do mitzvahs. And there are so many mitzvahs that we can do, but mitzvahs done in the right way. If you watch the mitzvah and do it for the reasons that it should be, you do the shmirah, then the HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us, V'shamar Hashem Ekev, you set the tone, you set it up, you did the mitzvahs the way I want you to do the mitzvahs. So Rabbi Shalom says that all these rewards that I promised, and all these rewards that I want to give to you, I will watch them also. I will make sure they're right in front of your eyes, and you'll see that you get the reward. You'll see that you get what I promised you. You'll see you get the health and the wealth and nachas from your children and all those things. It all comes from you loving Hashem and watching and doing the mitzvahs in the right way.